Well, humidity is going to be present today and tomorrow, but not muggy or oppressive. So we're not talking about heat advisories being an issue as we deal with highs in the low to mid 90s today and tomorrow, and feels like temperatures in the triple digits. But we get some relief in the way of a cold front that's going to be working in on Sunday. You can see the drop off in humidity as we go from Sunday to Monday, but notice the quick rebound. So we're really going to be dealing with only a brief changeover in terms of temperature and moisture profile. But for tomorrow, if you're going to be out there doing some tailgating, yard work, children's activities, things like that, just keep the heat on top of mind, because we are expecting feels like temperatures to reach the triple digits. So we need to stay hydrated, dress comfortably. You can see temperatures in the 90s for a good chunk of tomorrow afternoon as well. But we've got low 90s in the forecast for tomorrow as opposed to the mid 90s we're seeing for today, in large part because we're going to see some additional cloud cover tomorrow, as well as maybe a few passing showers in the forecast. Won't rule out a spotty chance at a shower for today, but you can see how vast majority of our viewing area is expected to remain dry as we make our way through the rest of the afternoon to the early evening hours. But some rain could linger into that 8 o'clock window. So if you do have that high school football game to head to or Friday evening plans with loved ones, still keep in mind we may have a passing sprinkle here or there. Going into the overnight, you can see how the clouds hang around. So that's going to filter the sunshine. It's going to make things a little bit cooler for the afternoon, but not by much. You see the rains, at least heavier, staying off towards our north for the early part of the day. But as we get towards the afternoon, isolated showers, maybe a rumble or two of thunder. Not expecting active weather, so we're not concerned about severe weather, certainly not concerned about any flood concerns. Then as we get towards 6 o'clock, kickoff for Southern and LSU. A little bit after that, you can see the weather is expected to be improving by that point in terms of any rain chances that we do have lingering. So for the Southern game on the Bluff, kickoff at 6 o'clock against Alabama State. You can see temperatures starting in the upper 80s, falling down through the 80s through the rest of the game. So dress comfortably. It's going to be a warm kind of game overall, as well as humid. We're not going to see that reduction in humidity until we get into Sunday and Monday. And I've kept a 10% mention of a shower in the forecast around kickoff. But once we get into those evening hours, whatever rain is around tomorrow is going to be gone. For LSU and Louisiana Tech, we'll shave off a couple of degrees because they're kicking off 30 minutes later and a few miles farther towards the south. So you can see we drop down from the mid 80s into the upper 70s. So bottom line for fans, especially tailgating, stay hydrated, but even into the game, it's going to stay warm and humid. So be sure to stay hydrated too. So let's talk about these rain chances, because it's really few and far between. We're talking about limited rain chances, nothing higher than 20% over the course of the next 7 days. So because of that, probably going to be needing the sprinklers for the yards here in the coming days. Not necessarily dragging them out every day, but maybe every other day or once every couple of days, have them out and give that yard a good soaking to help out with the hydration for the grass. So first alert to the tropics. We're tracking this mid and upper level low. We'll wait and see if any surface low feature tries to develop with it. Unlikely at this point. And then you've got Invest 91L out here in the east central Atlantic. That's still given a high percentage chance of becoming our next tropical depression as it approaches the Lesser Antilles or the eastern fringe of the Caribbean. 90% chance of development over the next 7 days. Gabrielle is the next name. We'll keep our eyes on how this system progresses as it moves west. It's going to be a very slow mover, so we've still got several days to monitor for any potential impacts to the United States. So mainly dry forecast through the weekend. We'll have a sprinkle here or there. Temperatures starting to wind down a little bit going into the beginning part of next week thanks to that front. In fact, so much so, Monday's high not expected to reach 90 degrees, and take a look at some of these morning lows in the 60s for Monday and mid 60s on Tuesday. So yeah, we're going to see the building heat back by the middle of next week. So it's only a brief reprieve, but we'll take whatever we can get.